New rising star Haaland will have an active release clause of £175 million, which will be effective in 2024. Despite his excellent debut, there are big questions about: is Haaland leaving City? And is Haaland becoming a burden for the teams he is playing for? Keep watching to find out. Erling Haaland was observed attempting to score for Manchester City against Liverpool, but he was unsuccessful. Nevertheless, Haaland had a fantastic debut for Manchester City, despite his failure to score against Liverpool. With only 10 appearances for Man City, Haaland still managed to score 15 goals to establish his status as one of the game's best players. Manchester City is aware that it is challenging to maintain a strong start in the City box, when major teams like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and PSG are hunting for Haaland. It is tough for City to keep a player like Haaland playing for Manchester City, since his contract only has a £200 million release clause, which makes the issue much worse for City. Haaland is the son of legendary former Manchester City footballer Erling Haaland. In a recent documentary, Haaland's father was seen to be revealed to have acknowledged Erling's intentions to leave City at some point. Erling said, "I think Erling wants to prove his abilities in all leagues. Then he can stay there for 3 or 4 years at the most. He could be, for example, 2.5 years in Germany, 2.5 years in England, and then in Spain, Italy, France, right? On our list, I think City is the best team," he said. Bayern Munich is number 2. We have Real Madrid as number 3, and Paris Saint-Germain as number 4. We also have some English teams other than City who are quite good: Liverpool and Chelsea. Also, there is Barcelona. They are sort of in the same row. Holland left Dortmund with 86 goals in 89 appearances. Kell said that Haaland proved a problem on football grounds. He stated with Bild, "As much as we have appreciated Erling and the success he has had with our shirt, in the end, the matter has definitely become a burden, both in the dressing room and for the club. In general, for the whole environment, it was just him. The timing of the sale was right, both for us and City. The fact that our first 10 goals this season have been scored by 10 different players proves it. Erling Haaland has just played 13 games for Manchester City, yet he already is on track to break the Premier League scoring record and leads Luis Suarez, Harry Kane, and Robin van Persie in goals in the Champions League. Depending on how long the Norwegian remains in Manchester, we'll see how many more records he sets at City. His contract is a $195 million release clause that goes into effect in 2024, according to press reports this week. Nevertheless, Mundo Deportivo reports that Pep Guardiola's team is already planning to offer Haaland a new contract that would remove the future provision. The citizens may have to make the Norway international their biggest earner in order to convince him to stay, given that he makes around £375,000 each week. Haaland scored 3 goals against Manchester United on Sunday, giving him a total of 14 goals in only 8 games this season, just 9 shy of surpassing his Golden Boot winning total from the previous year. As mentioned on Forbes.com, given that Haaland joined City after having fulfilled the $60 million release clause in his agreement with Borussia Dortmund, this could be a big worry for some Manchester City supporters. Only teams outside of the Premier League are currently subject to the release clause, but since Real Madrid and Barcelona are both expected to be searching for a striker to replace Karim Benzema and Robert Lewandowski respectively, both teams will be considering the opportunity presented by the release clause. But the main reason why Manchester City fans need not worry about the release clause is that in 5 seasons, Haaland could leave for free anyway. If he is happy at City in 2 years' time, then City could offer him a new contract and end up staying in Manchester for the rest of his career. If he is unhappy, then he will be leaving no matter what. Haaland is already playing for a club that is competing for the top honors in world soccer and is already beamed around the world in Manchester City. The club is well run and set up to keep on winning, whereas any move would have an element of risk. Many of the other expensive transfers in soccer have not been anywhere near as successful as imagined. The fact that Haaland might depart for free after 5 seasons is the key reason Manchester City supporters do not need to be concerned about the release clause. In 2 years, if he is still satisfied with City, City may extend his contract, and he might choose to spend the rest of his career in Manchester. Regardless of the circumstances, if he is dissatisfied, he will go. Haaland currently competes for a team that is aiming for the top soccer honors, and Manchester City is well known around the world. Any decision would involve some risk, but the club is well operated and positioned to continue winning. Haaland has had a great career in the past too, which is why every club is striving hard to get him. For example, when he was in Salzburg and Dortmund, he did amazing stuff. After joining Salzburg, he scored his first hat-trick for the club in a 7-1 Austrian Cup win against SC ESV Parndorf, and followed this up with his first hat-trick in the league on August 10th, scoring 3 in a 5-2 victory against Wolfsberger AC. He got a third hat-trick for Salzburg on September 14th in a 7-2 victory over TSV Hartberg. This was the 6th consecutive league game Haaland had scored in, with 11 total goals. On November 27th, Haaland came off the bench to score another goal against Genk, joining Del Piero, Serhii Rebrov, Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Robert Lewandowski as the only players to score in their first 5 matches of a Champions League group stage, and becoming the first teenager to score in 5 consecutive matches in the competition. Haaland made his debut for Dortmund away at FC Augsburg on January 18, 2020, coming on as a second-half substitute and scoring a hat-trick within 23 minutes in a 5-3 win. This made him only the second player in Dortmund history after Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to score 3 goals on their Bundesliga debut. Haaland got a brace against Union Berlin on February 1st, becoming the first player in history to score 7 goals in their first 3 Bundesliga games. Haaland concluded his 2019-2020 campaign with 44 goals in 40 club appearances across all competitions played for both Salzburg and Dortmund. On October 11th, Haaland scored his first international hat-trick in Norway's 4-0 win over Romania in a Nations League B match, bringing his tally for the senior team to 6 goals in 6 matches played, making him nationally and internationally an amazing player. Haaland is being compared by many to one of the greatest players of all time, Lionel Messi. Check out the video in the top right corner to find out if Haaland is better than Messi. Please consider subscribing if you liked the video. We'll see you soon with another great video.